Hello there, first graders. We're getting ready to look again at our book called Animal Groups, written by James Bruchock. And today what we're going to be working on is our vocabulary from the book itself. So we're going to be learning a little bit more about some words we found in our book. We're also going to be thinking through the text. So we'll be asking and answering several questions from our text today. Get ready for our I can statement. All right, so today we're going to try and fill in the blank on this top one. I see blank animal groups. So we're looking for a number to go on the line. How many animal groups are we seeing in our book? Also, our I can statement today is I can answer questions about the text I read. So we're going to be answering some different questions today about our story. So we're going to look at our vocabulary. We're starting with animal groups. A group is a number of living things that are alike in some way. If you're part of an animal group, you are going to have things in common with other animals in your same group. The next word we're looking at is breathe. This fish can breathe underwater. Breathe means to take air in and push air out. On this page, we read about the fish's tail. Tails are a thin part that stick out from the back part of an animal's body. All right, we talked about the animal group of fish. Now we are talking about reptiles. A reptile is a cold-blooded animal with scales or horny plates. A reptile. As we continue talking about reptiles, we're also throughout all these animal groups talking about their bodies. Each different animal group has a different type of body, and so do we as people. You know that your body is your whole physical part of you. Your arms, your legs, your chest, your head, all of you is your body. But it's not what you think, it's not how you feel, it's the part you can touch and see. We have talked about fish. We have talked about reptiles. Now we're going to talk about amphibians. Amphibians is a big word. It means cold-blooded animals that live in water and breathe air. One kind of amphibian, the frog, has something called tadpoles. Tadpoles are young frogs or toads that do not have any legs. You can see in our picture in the bubble, the little guys that are swimming, those are tadpoles, which are baby frogs. Okay, so we've talked about fish, reptiles, and amphibians, and now we're going to talk about birds. Birds are very special. They have some things that are unique, which means special to only them. Birds have feathers. Feathers are what covers a bird's body. They're amazing. They feel different, and they don't feel like fur or hair. They're different. They're special to a bird. Also, there are wings. Wings are parts of a bird that let them fly. So birds are one animal that can fly in the air, which is so amazing. We have fish, reptiles, amphibians, bird, and finally, mammals. Mammals are warm-blooded animals with hair or fur that make milk. So if you take a look at this lion here, you can see that he has fur on him. He's warm-blooded. That means his body temperature is pretty close to that of a person. We're both mammals, actually, lions and people. They have hair or fur. We have hair on us, and we can feed our babies with milk. So we are mammals just like these lions are. So I mentioned that people and other mammals have hair. Hair is a thin strand that grows from the skin of humans and many animals. You know what your hair looks like on your head. Sometimes you have hairy arms or legs, and that is part of being a mammal. Here's a picture of some kids, and it's pretty amazing to think that we are mammals too, just like these other creatures that walk on our earth. All right, all birds have wings, but not all birds fly. Some animals have legs and some do not. Fish live in water all the time. Other animals live on land. Animals are alike and different. What about animals do you know? You're going to read in our story about how animals are alike and different as we read some more about animal groups. Okay, we're going to start answering some questions now. I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pencil so you can answer the questions as we go. It's okay if you don't spell them perfectly. I want you to do your very best, and I want you to try very hard to sound out the words you write. The first one we're going to start with is the question about how many animal groups do we see? This first page and then the next one, how many animal groups do you see? You see the paper on your screen, it means it's time for you to go ahead and pause and write down the answer to your question on your paper. The text says animal groups, but I only see 5 single animals, so I ask myself, what does animal groups mean? I think a group means to have more than one. I'll read the next few pages and maybe I'll find out about more than one kind of fish in the fish group. So as we begin to think through our text, here's a question for you. What is one difference you see between the fish and the reptile in this picture? Remember, the reptile is the lizard and the fish is the one in the water. What's one thing they do not have alike? They are different. Go ahead and answer. Go ahead and pause if you need to, and then we'll move on to the next part. Fish must live in water. Fish have gills that help them breathe in water. Fish have fins and tails. Those help them swim. The question you're going to be answering here is, how are fish alike? You can make a smart guess, or you can draw a conclusion about how one fish might be different from another, or how they might be the same. So this is where you get to really think through what you're seeing in the labels, in your pictures, and you read in your texts. Go ahead and pause and write your answer. Fish can be many shapes and sizes. Can you find a fish hidden in this picture? Okay, now we're moving on to reptiles. Let's read what the picture says. Reptiles can live on land. Some like to be in water. Reptiles have scales on their skin, and you can see the labels: scales, a tail, eyes, and legs. So the first question about reptiles is, where do reptiles have scales? Where did our text tell us? I hope you can answer that one. All right, we're going to look at another reptile. Many reptiles hatch from eggs. You can see this baby turtle hatching from his egg. Hatches when they're born. They come out of an egg like a baby chick. So what do the pictures on page 172 here show us? We see 2 pictures. One is the turtle doing what? The big turtle's doing something and the little turtle is doing something. Write your answer, please. Another thing this makes me wonder is, as we're reading about this baby turtle being born, are all animals born from eggs? Are fish born from eggs? Actually, yes, they are. Are amphibians born from eggs? Are birds born from eggs? Are mammals born from eggs? So let's be thinking about that as we go. Snakes cannot walk. They do not have legs. This snake slides its long body on the grass. So you can think about what's different from how turtles get around and walk and move to how snakes get around. Okay, we have a new animal group here. These are amphibians. Amphibians spend time both on land and in water. Remember, both means not just one or the other, but each one at the same. It may be at different times they're on land or in the water, but they can do each of them. They do not have scales. Their skin is wet. And to me, it looks like they have scales, so this text is helpful information to read. They do not have scales. Their skin is wet. Amphibians hatch from eggs. Tadpoles hatch and grow to be frogs. All right, so we wondered about if amphibians might come from eggs, and they do. So the question here for you is this: how are amphibians like reptiles? Well, we just named one. They both hatch from, that's right, from eggs. And then we want to know, how are they different? So we need to look to see what might be different about them. Do they have scales? Do these amphibians have scales? Nope. Even though it kind of looks like that frog has scales on the last picture, he does not. So we have to look at the text evidence in the words and the pictures to help us know what the word means and what's happening in our story. So we work together with our pictures and our labels and the text we read so we can best understand the facts in our story. So the question you're answering here is, how are amphibians like reptiles, and how are amphibians different from reptiles? Okay, a new animal group, this one called birds. So we can look at our text and our labels. A bird has feathers and wings. This bird's eyes are on the sides of its face. So look at the labels. We have birds that have eyes, a bill, that's their beak, their wing, their feathers. So how are birds the same as amphibians? How are they the same as amphibians? So what do they have that they both have alike? Do they both have eyes? Yes, they do. Do they both have legs? Yes, they do. Do they both have mouths? Yep. Are they both animals? Yep. Okay, so let's ask the question about this one. How are birds different from amphibians? Let's look. So we look at their eyes. Those are sort of alike. How about their mouth? Do those look like the same kind of mouth? Not really, huh? How about their skin? Does it look the same? They're covering on their skin. One is wet and kind of scaly looking. One is feathery. Do they have the same kind of arms? Not really. How many feet or legs does the bird have? That's right, 2. How many legs or feet do the amphibians have? 4. So you can compare to other animal groups and see what is the same and what is different. So you can see in this picture, many birds can fly. Some can run or swim fast, but not all birds can fly. But that is one amazing thing that birds can do that other animals cannot, is fly. Birds hatch from eggs. This hen made a nest for its eggs. All right, this section is about mammals. Mammals can be many shapes and sizes. They have hair on their skin. And as I look at this, I want to think to myself and ask myself about the hair and what it looks like. I find out from the photo what a lion's hair looks like, and I'll read on to find out about other mammals' hair. We read here that a mammal mom can make milk for its baby to drink and eat. Also look at the fur on this mammal. Lots of mammals live on land, but some mammals live in water even. This is pretty amazing. Okay, so we're looking at birds and mammals. They have different things covering their skin. How are birds and mammals different? Go ahead and take time to answer. Did you know that you are a mammal too? Humans, like us, are mammals too. So what's an important detail that you have learned about mammals in this section? Maybe even more than one. Take a minute to think about it and go ahead and put down your answer. I hope you have enjoyed learning about animal groups with me today. Please go ahead and make sure you write down all the answers where we have our paused spots with our paper showing, and submit that to your teacher today. Have an awesome day!